You know, to kind of follow up on that, Tar Vanderveer, the Olympic coach, and you know, the men's side is a lot different, and being on the Olympic team in '76 and seeing how things have progressed, the women, how can you not have the coach pick your players and have the chemistry? I don't understand that the women don't change, and the coach has got to have some input, know who's going to help her team. I know in '76 when Dean Smith was the coach, he took 5 North Carolina players and Chuck Daly to the dream team. You know, that was kind of selected, but I mean, here you got the NBA coach, and he kind of knows who the players are and who's going to gel well together. I don't think the committee really knows what the coach is going through.
And let me ask you this, is this the Olympic team?
No, it's not. What happens with the national team is they try and keep this team together as much as possible, or as many players as long and as much as possible, so they do have some chemistry. They know how to play together. In '76 and in the past teams in '84 and '88 and '92, they put these teams together for the Pan Am Games, the Jones Cups, World University Games, World Championships, and maybe this team right here has 11 players, so there's one spot open, but there might be 2, 3, 4 players that might change within that course, whether the committee or Tara, and I feel again that the coach should have the say-so as far as who she feels is going to blend well on the Olympic team, and this is just the national team right now.
Well, the pace has picked up here in the second half. A lot of up and down action. It's an 18-point lead for the USA. Remember, they were up by only 6 at the half.
And, you know, they're doing such a great job promotion-wise with Carol Blazkowski and the NBA as far as the marketing getting involved, and with Nike and Converse, Reebok, the shoes companies that have really supported the women. And I think that has been a big plus, but I also think that, you know, you've got to have more input from the coaches as far as who they're going to coach.
That's the second time in a row Stanford's been turned away on the inside. Bolton for 3. Maybe 4 on that one.
Is that a Reggie Miller shot?
Oh, my goodness. It's a 21-point game now.
So internationally, that is a big weapon as far as the three-point shot. And the U.S. team in the past, that has been one of their weaknesses. And you'll see internationally a lot of teams sag off and force the United States to take those shots. And Ruthie Bolton, Katie Stedding, Jennifer Azzi, Teresa Edwards, those are the players that are going to have to step up and hit those outside shots.
Another turnover for Stanford on the offensive foul. And now Heather Owen returns to the lineup. Nygaard going out. That foul was on Omi. That's her 3rd.
So far in the 4 games, this Stanford team has been the most physical. Connecticut had Carol Walters at 6'7", and she's a big player, but she's a little slower. These Stanford players are very quick, 6'4", 6'3", very mobile inside, and very physical.
13-15 remaining. Almost 7 minutes have gone by here in the second half. Bolton missing from the perimeter, and USA has limited Stanford to only 4 points in about a 7-minute stretch here.
And Tara Vanderveer, which has always been her trademark, is her defense. And obviously coming out of that halftime, really stressed upon this national team that we've got to pick up the defense.
Bolton gives it up to Stedding. Lobo. McLean with the follow. USA really getting on the boards, and a foul called against Stanford.
Well, McLean on the '88 Olympic team led the team in scoring and rebound with 17.6 and over 10 rebounds a game. And in '92 also led the team with 10 rebounds. And you see why they call her Tree. She's up there going after it.
Ruthie Bolton getting to the free throw line. 2 for 2 free throwing in the first half. 13 points for Bolton in the game. Pretty good balance for the USA.
And that's going to be a key for them. So defensively, teams cannot key on just one player for them.
67-44. 21-4. Scoring thrust by USA here in the second half.
Kate Starbird had 15 points in the first half and has held scoreless so far in the second half.
Shot clock at 10. Weidman rimming no, and McLean the rebound. Lisa Leslie back in the lineup for USA. Nikki McCray also in, number 15. 23-point lead for USA. On the pass to the inside to Scott. USA with another steal. Leslie missed the floater. Scott with a rebound.
Stanford having a tough time holding the ball on the outside. You can see the defense is just right on top of them. They've shut off the passing lanes and the driving lanes.
That time it was Leslie taking it away from Scott. McCray missing, gets her own rebound, and on the follow she was fouled.
USA also doing a much better job looking to get the ball inside. We talked about the spacing. They have spread out a little bit more. So defensively, Stanford is out tight on the passers. And look at how open Nikki McCray is down low. Weidman lets her go, and she misses it. So good defense by Weidman to back off, but here she gets banged by Owen, helping out on defense.
11:28 remaining in the second half. McCray with one more.
Nikki McCray from Tennessee, played under Pat Summitt. Is the 94 and 95 SEC Player of the Year.
6 points for her after those 2 free throws. A 25-point game and a timeout taken.
Hello, sweetheart. Scored 101 points.
And national team's coming up with 2 steals.
Still only 4 points scored in the second half by Stanford. Starbird pressured by Steady. Olympia Scott gets her own rebound. Nice strong effort there by Scott. McCray knocks out at 3. That's her first. Here's Starbird right back for Stanford, and Stedding blocks the shot out of bounds.
Well, this is what the national team wants. They want Stanford to take the quick shot, and yes, it was working in the first half because, you know, talking to Carol Callan at halftime, who's traveling with the national team, she says, you know, it takes us about 10 minutes to kind of really get into the game. This first half took us a little longer, and you can see coming out in the second half what a difference.
17 to shoot. Starbird picks up the loose ball. Ooh, what a play by Starbird.
That's a big-time play.
Well, as you mentioned, Dan, that's her first 2 points of the second half after she had 15 at halftime. Harrington, number 33, who's on defending for Stanford. Lobo missing from the perimeter. Heather Owen turns it over on the baseline.
What a great baseline drive. Look at that. It's one-handed little scoop shot. Good control, concentration. Soft touch.
USA the ball leading 72-48. Nikki McCray, and a blocking foul will put her on the free throw line. Owen called for the foul.
And Nikki McCray really sets this play up. Lisa Leslie comes up on the high side to set the pick. And Tara Harrington, who's just into the game for the first time in this second half, Nikki McCray kind of gives a little shoulder fake, and Harrington goes right for it and leaves the baseline wide open.
State Farm storyline of this game here in the second half, the 26-8 scoring edge. First free throw is made. Lisa Leslie with 14 points scored, leading a balanced attack for USA. And Stanford has gone cold here in the second half. 2 free throws dropped in by McCray. 26-point lead, the biggest of the game for USA. Weidman against Azzi.
Look at this standing. Nobody's cutting, and when they're cutting, nobody's waiting for a pick. So they're having to work by themselves to get open.
Over the top to Scott, and a foul on McCray.
Well, Stanford was fortunate on that because they did not look very sharp on that possession.
First foul on McCray. 14th foul on USA. USA here in the second half.
Stanford has been picked to win the Pac-10. There's some other teams that are going to be pretty good. Oregon State, USC, Washington. Washington's picked number 2, but Oregon State's got some good players coming back.
On a play down the lane, a foul called against USA. It's on McCray. Nikki McCray picking up her second. 5 team fouls. Is this one in the cards or what?
Well, a lot of times when it gets too loud or players are concentrated, they'll look over the bench and they've got different plays set up. What defenses to run, whether you run a press or not.
USA forcing another turnover. Lobo. Azzi plays into Leslie. Her shot blocked from behind by Scott, but a foul, and Lisa Leslie shoots 2.
Olivia Scott, she's just like, take that step out of here, even though she fouls it. But look at how aggressive this play is. Whoa, swing that left arm out, Lisa Leslie. She gets away with it. No contact, and Scott comes back.
Leslie, who leads the U.S. team in scoring with 14. We'll get one more. Kelsey and Nygaard back on for Stanford. Owen and Harrington going out.
Lisa Leslie has 1 year experience over in Italy, where she averaged over 22 points and almost 12 rebounds a game.
15 points for her tonight. And away from the play, we get a foul called underneath. It's against USA. Leslie with her 4th. 16 fouls on USA. 9:08 remaining.
There have been a lot of fouls called on this USA team, and I know that Sarah Vanderveer is concerned they're going to call a foul on Vanessa Nygaard, which she got called early in the game as far as an illegal pick. But getting back to the post play of the U.S. team, and they have a lot of bodies, but they're not big bodies. And Tara Vanderveer is very concerned about that, especially in international play, because the players are much taller, they're much wider, they're physical, and if the national team gets into foul trouble, they're going to have some concerns as far as those positions.
When they conclude play against the NCAA competition, they move into some areas where they play these international teams.
As a matter of fact, there's about a 20-day period towards the, in February where they are going to go, of all places, get your coats on, Siberia.
Whoa!
And they're going to play as many games as they can in 10 days while they're there. Also, during the course of this tour, they're also going to go to China and Asia, and I think playing those international teams will help a lot.
The fans are reacting to Chandra Benton, 6'7". She was a red shirt last year. And Stanford now with its tallest player ever out there on the court. Number 32. Wasn't ready for the pass from Whiteman.
Well, the one thing about this Cardinal team is most of these players have had a lot of playing time, and even as young as they are, they have experience being out there in tough situations, and they know how to handle it. Chandra Benton, she's still a little raw as far as strength is concerned, working on her hand, her quickness. And at 6'7", it'll help height-wise, but she needs to be a little stronger.
Azzi makes the pickoff on that pass to the inside. Lobo underneath, yep, and a foul. Foul is on Benton.
The open court for the national team. Azzi kicking the ball to McCray, and McCray sees Lobo cutting down low. Her first 2 points of the game, and they call her the rookie. National Player of the Year, just won everything last year. Her team at Connecticut, 35-0.
That basket, her first 2 points of the game. The lead for USA, 31. Timeout taken.
Team enjoy
enjoying a 31-point lead at this point in the game. And joining me is Renee Brown, one of the assistant coaches for the national team. Renee, this team has come alive in the second half. What does Tara emphasize?
The key that Tara is emphasizing for us to play our defense. And she told them to come out ready to play ball. And as you can tell, they've done that. At this point, Stanford's only scored 8 points because of our defense.
Renee, thanks a lot. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you.
Lobo converting on the three-point play to make it a 32-point game, and some more of that tough, tenacious defense being applied by USA.
Well, you know where that intensity is coming from, too, Jim, is their footwork. They're moving their feet. They're quicker. Good shot right there for Stanford. But they're putting more pressure on them because they're able to move their feet.
That was Weidman hitting that perimeter shot. Oh, nice play. Lobo finding McLean coming down the lane. Starbird. Bolton claims the rebound.
It's going to happen with the pressure defense of the U.S. team. It's great hands by Katrina McLean. Pull that pass down.
Bolton again from way outside.
But if the USA team continues with the pressure defense, it will force Stanford to take some shots. They'll be tired, and they'll end up missing more shots because of their fatigue.
Nygaard. Benton. Chandra Benton. That brings the crowd to life.
Her first 2 points as a Cardinal. But she's breathing easy on that one now.
Azzi hits for 3. Jennifer Azzi with 5 points scored in this ball game. Starbird with Bolton out on hers. Weidman for 3. Left it short. McLean up court to Azzi. Now to Bolton, middle of the floor. That was Benton who tipped it out for Stanford. Smith missing. Well, that was Kelsey, I should say. And right back at the other end, McLean gets the layup. Katrina McLean with 12. The biggest lead of the night for USA at 35.
Well, this pace is just really going to benefit the USA team because as far as conditioning-wise, Stanford still not used to the kind of running that the U.S. national team does. They scrimmage against men all the time. Before coming on this tour, they were playing against men in regular games. And obviously, physically, they're going to beat you up a little bit more, but they're going to make you run also.
Nygaard on the miss, McLean the rebound.
Pace has really picked up in the second half of the national team.
Yeah, they're really pouring it on. They have scored 43 points here in the second half with Stedding following that in. And they've limited Stanford to only 12. Starbird, a spectacular play.
Is that pretty?
Minutes for the game. Azzi with 12 on the shot clock. Lobo. Lobo has scored 5.
And even the national team, I think, is a little tired, but you know, when you've got your opponent down in points and you know they're tired, you keep pushing it at them, keep pushing it at them, and they're going to get more fatigue as much as you.
Benton. They love it here at Stanford. USA so far in this series of games has scored 100 only the first time out. They've got a shot at it tonight with 91 points up there, a little over 4 minutes left. Lobo with the rebound.
Weidman has missed a few shots in the second half from the outside. She's a little tired.
Azzi missing from the perimeter, and you know what? You hit it right on the head, Ann, because USA, they're not showing fatigue at all. And Stanford is beginning to walk up and down the court. Timeout taken.
Girls went to Rock Steady for a pickup game.
We got next.
Lisa is the center of U.S. women's basketball team. Cheryl's a forward. Dawn is a point guard.
Shoot that, Cheryl. Take the jump, Lisa. We'll take it. Good game. Good game. Next. That's the next one. We can't shoot it.
And this isn't a fairy tale, so they didn't beat every guy, but they beat enough to say basketball is basketball, athletes are athletes.
Wednesday night NIT opening round triple header on ESPN at 7:30. Top freshman Stephon Marbury makes his debut for Weber State.
The Shark
is back. Leslie. Edwards looking in, 14 to shoot. Stedding plays into Swoops. 3 on the shot clock. Edwards missing for 3. And Smith to the loose ball. So USA is going to remain undefeated and push their record to 4-0. Scott getting the basket, but the USA women's national team was really tested in the first half tonight. It was a 6-point game at halftime. Azzi goes all the way.
What I've really enjoyed watching in the couple games that we've been able to see the national team on ESPN and ESPN2 is that Char Vanderveer is really trying to find some combination. And she has certain players that are really sticking out, but she's got to find 5 players that are really going to gel together, and maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 down the line as far as who's going to sub and play those roles. And I think everybody's still struggling to find out what their role is.
Everybody has played tonight for Stanford. Westerfeld is in the lineup now, number 4. 2:40 left to go. Swoops on the baseline drive, lost the handle. Stedding for 3.
I was going to say, if she knocked that down, was it going to be an assist?
Westerfeld with the ball. Now Smith up court to Starbird. On the wraparound move. Her pass in traffic stolen. Azzi at the control. Upward. Good feed to Stedding on the reverse.
What an unselfish play by both Azzi and Edwards with the passing. Azzi has said, you know, we really wouldn't keep stats. I just want to concentrate on teamwork. This is a team game, and she wished that everybody would get the credit that they all deserve it, and sometimes it gets blown out of proportion. But and that's what makes her such a vital part of this team, because in '92 she was an alternate, and it made her work so hard to become a part of the national team.
Starbird has gone out of the game, and Fruin is in. Regan Fruin, number 15, has come on, and now they've gotten everyone into the lineup. Westerfeld, Omi. Her first field goal. 95-60. Azzi for 3.
Great rotation. She really had time to set up on that.
That's her second 3 of the game. So 100 appears to be well within reach for USA. There's no let-up defensively by USA. Owen comes back from underneath and wrestles the ball away from Leslie, but a held ball is called.
Isn't that Red Rover, Red Rover? Boy, Lisa made sure she had both arms hooked.
Stedding going out, getting a hand.
Well, Owens gets caught underneath the basket, and she's fouled right here by Leslie. And the ball is loose, and I think Lisa Leslie's just holding on for dear life, then falling down.
And you see Azzi also going out getting a hand. So a good night for the Stanford X's. Shot clock violation. The ball goes to USA with 1:01 remaining.
Well, Amy Tucker and Marianne Stanley said coming into this game, you know, two things. We don't want to lose confidence. And two, we want to see what our weakness is. Obviously, in the first half, they played this national team very strong. But, you know, in the second half, they're going to pick up things and go back and go to chalkboard and work on things as far as what they learned in this game.
Bolton missing the three. The loose ball. A foul call. Katrina McLean with a double-double tonight, the champion player of the game for USA. 12 points and 10 rebounds and 5 out of 6 from the field.
Well, she just really came on in the second half as far as controlling the boards. And, you know, Tree just gets up there so high, and she's so much fun to watch. She has a passion for the game, but she's just so calm about things, too.
Charmin Smith hitting the first free throw, earning the bonus. 42 seconds left. Romy follows it in. 98-63. Stanford, perhaps with its final possession. Westerfeld under pressure of Edwards.
Good switch defense.
USA comes out with it with 4 seconds left. And they get their 100 at the buzzer. USA national team moves to 4-0, and they do it with a rock-solid second half tonight here in Stanford as they up the lead from 6 to the final score of 100-63. It was a lot closer than this final score would indicate. We'll be back to wrap it up after these messages. For the USA national women's team, 100-63 over Stanford. Now let's go to Mimi Griffin.
Jennifer Azzi, congratulations. You know, your mother told me earlier in the game that it's so strange to be here at Stanford. See another Stanford player with the number 10 on. How was the experience for you?
It was great. I mean, the greatest thing about it was the crowd. You know, they welcomed Katie and I back. They gave us a standing ovation. I mean, I couldn't have felt better tonight.
A little bit of a slow start, and it was the same way at Connecticut. What do you think the deal is there?
Well, we're traveling an awful lot, and I don't want to make excuses, but we're also always the visitor. We're never going to have a crowd completely for us, and I think that's a little bit tough to come out every night, you know, night in, night out after all the traveling, too.
You sure do come out strong in the second half, though. What are the magic words that Tara gives you in the locker room?
Well, she just told us to play our game, play hard, don't worry about the fans, don't worry about anything else, that we have something to prove out here, and that's what we came out and did in the second half.
Well, congratulations once again, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
USA
all right, Jim, let's go back to you.
Okay, Mimi, USA outscored Stanford 54-23 in the second half. Stay tuned for Sports Smash. Coming up next, for Ann Myers and Mimi Griffin, Jim Durham saying so long from Stanford, and thanks for joining us.